Now let's kick it off into the realm of CVOL. We go. Obviously, a lot popping off on the vol front. If you want to deep dive into equity-specific vol, listeners, tune into Volatility Views tomorrow. Should be a good time. But right now, listeners, going into the CVOL, we've got FX CVOL at the top of our list. 9.59 is where we're coming into the show. Again, FX very much in the crosshairs right now. Moving almost half a point just today, 0.43 today. That is also the high for the week, and we're kind of all over the place on the CVOL this week, which is fascinating. That is the high for the week, the low 8.35. So we don't get roughly a 1 1/4 point move in FX CVOL very often. So that should show you that something interesting and or aberrant is afoot out there in the realm of FX, which is what happens when you kick off a global trade war. Right below it, listeners, we've got metals, 20.13 today, listeners. Up about 1/3 of a point. Obviously, metals looking spicy out there, listeners. That is also the high for the week, the low 16.61. So about a 3.5 point range on the week for metals vol, which is also pretty action-packed. And now we come to the ags, the ag product CVOL, 20.37, kind of unched today. That is pretty much the low for the week, the high 21.61. So ag vol going completely the other way, listeners, pinning the needle to the downside this week. So got 2 to the upside. Now we got 2 in a row to the downside, because below it we have the aggregate commodities CVOL, 32.88, off about 0.21. That is also the low for the week, the high 33.37. So once again, CVOL kind of all over the place this week, which is what makes it fascinating. Then we come to the treasuries, the treasury price vol, listeners, 6.4, coming in 1/3 of a point today. The range for the week, 5.87 to the downside, 6.72 to the upside. Almost a full point range for treasury price CVOL on the week. That is also somewhat surprising. And again, you don't see that too often. That is because we are in the midst of a lot of macro madness going on out there, listeners. So you're going to see some action in treasury vol, and that's what we're seeing today. Below it, we have the energy CVOL, 46.08. That is the low for the week. So energy vol coming back down the other way. The high was 48.96. Obviously, a decent move to the downside in energy vol. Maybe more downside to come. We shall see. And then at the bottom of our list, we've got treasury yield vol, 118.42, off over 6 points just today. 6.09 points just today. You might be saying, oh, I must be pinning the needle to the downside for the week. You would be wrong. 124.51 was the high. 108.78 was the low. So we're actually towards the upper band of our weekly range in treasury yield vol. So a weird topsy-turvy week on the CVOL. Not perhaps as biased in one direction as you might assume, which is what makes it interesting, which is why you got to tune into TWIFO every week.